Arsenal have just won at White Hart Lane. Now, when you talk about this result, when you talk about what Arsenal have just achieved here, I think a lot of people, when analysing this game, are going to say some ridiculous things. They're going to say things like, "Oh, weren't Arsenal lucky?" Or, "Oh, didn't Arsenal nearly blow it?" Now, those people know nothing about winning a title. Trust me, when you win a title at this stage of the season, nothing apart from accruing the 3 points matters. Did your team win the game? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, it's a good day at the office. If the answer is no, it is a disaster. There is no such thing as a good performance that doesn't result in 3 points going to Arsenal. There is no such thing as a bad performance that does result in 3 points going. Basically, get the 3 points and it's job done. It is a huge result for Arsenal. It's exactly what they needed to do, and Arsenal did what they wanted. They moved 4 points clear of Manchester City in the race for the title. And in the process, they got a banana skin fixture out the way. You know, when you look at Arsenal's fixtures, if you're a Man City fan, you will be highlighting White Hart Lane as one of the difficult games. That is where you will see Arsenal potentially slipping up. And the fact that they went there and they went 3-0 up at a canter is a statement. It is a statement to everyone. It's a statement to Guardiola. It's a statement to their own fans. But it's also a statement to anyone who doubted them off the back of what happened in those 2 consecutive games where they lost to Bayern Munich and to Aston Villa. They really did struggle in those games. They dropped a lot of points, but they have managed to answer them perfectly. In the 3 games since, they have scored 10 goals and taken 9 points out of 9. 10 goals in the 3 games off the back of everyone laughing at them. Off the back of everyone saying Unai Emery has ended Arteta's chances of winning the league. Arsenal are definitely in with a shout of winning this league. And the way that they are going for the jugular in every game is so impressive. They were annoyingly good today. I thought Kai Havertz in that sort of... What position is it? It's like 9.5 he plays, isn't it? It's not dissimilar to what Harry Kane used to do so well in that stadium. I thought Havertz was unreal. I genuinely did. I thought he was man of the match. I mean, Saka obviously deserves a lot of credit as well, but I thought Kai Havertz was man of the match. And Mikel Arteta deserves so much credit as well. He ruthlessly exploited the inadequacies of Ange Postecoglou. And at some point, we are going to have a conversation about Ange Postecoglou. How bad were his team? How bad are Tottenham at defending? How poxy are they when they try to defend set pieces? They're woeful. And it's all very well to say, isn't it noble that Ange Postecoglou approaches football with this diligent and clear ethos? He has a philosophy, and isn't that to be admired? But being a good manager, part of being a good manager, is being pragmatic and working out a system to win games that you may find difficult. When you come up against teams who are capable of beating you, you need to find a way to win those games. And the way that you do that is via pragmatic management. And that is exactly where Ange Postecoglou is getting it so wrong. Look at what Mikel Arteta does. When Mikel Arteta comes up against teams where he thinks he can win, he comes up against Pochettino and Chelsea. He comes up against Ange Postecoglou. His team go for the jugular and they desperately try and score as many goals as possible. And that is why they scored 5 goals at the Emirates against Chelsea recently. That is why they went 3-0 up here. That is why they slap certain teams up. But when it's necessary, what does Arteta do? He defends. He turns into Diego Simeone. He is cautious, he is careful, he is respectful of the opponent, and he tries to find a way to manoeuvre. But he doesn't just have this one philosophy that makes you so easy to play against. It makes you so predictable to play against. And it means that everybody knows what you're going to do. Ange Postecoglou is one of the main reasons why it went so drastically wrong for Tottenham today. The team that he put out and the method in which he put them out there was just desperately lacking. And he made it so easy for Arsenal. You know, if you want to just find a microcosm of this game to understand what happened, there's a moment where Tottenham are on the attack. Tottenham fans will think that they could have been awarded a penalty. Okay, there's a clash. I think it's Trossard clashes with Kulusevski. There's an ankle clash. They come together. Kulusevski goes down. At that moment, Tottenham thought they could have had a penalty, and that's not the point I'm making here. We will discuss that at some point. But the ball breaks to Arsenal. Arsenal, from one exquisite pass, Arsenal end up completely in on goal. Bukayo Saka has nobody between him and Vicario. How is that possible when you're at home against a team as dangerous as Arsenal? Arsenal are like a coiled spring ready to batter anyone. They have some of the most exquisite forward players in this league. They are capable of They're basically capable of scoring bundles of goals against anyone. And we know that if you give Odegaard room, he will punish you. We know that if you give Bukayo Saka room to run into, with basically no one to beat apart from Ben Davies, he will punish you. I know this, you know this. Why does Postecoglou not know this? One simple pass from Tottenham being on the attack, Bukayo Saka has the freedom of White Hart Lane. He eats up the space brilliantly, and all of a sudden, Arsenal have scored. It was a wonderful goal. The way that he cut back, I think Ben Davies made a pig's ear of it. I think he could have done so much more. Ben Davies knew that Saka wanted to cut back onto his left foot, and he allowed him to do it. But you can't even blame Ben Davies. You have to analyse quite how poorly Tottenham set up and quite how poorly Tottenham defend. You know, Bukayo Saka, we have to acknowledge his brilliance. He has been outrageously good. And, you know, he has now scored home and away against Tottenham for the first time in the league since Ian Wright. He is the first player to score home and away against Tottenham in the Premier League since Ian Wright. So what a thing that is for him. That really does mean so much to Arsenal. But Tottenham were appalling. They really were. You know, Arsenal had it all to do. Arsenal had to focus. Arsenal needed the win. And Tottenham had an opportunity. They had a wonderful opportunity to stop their rivals from winning the league. That's what was on the cards for them. Not even qualifying for the Champions League. That becomes insignificant to stopping Arsenal winning this league. And instead of that, they totally capitulated. The team that they put out was atrocious. The setup from Postecoglou was atrocious. And at some point we need to talk about that. The other thing that I think is really important to acknowledge, and quite how badly Tottenham defended, was Arsenal nearly threw it away. You know, they did make some errors. David Raya, a howler from him to allow Tottenham back into it. And I think Tottenham will think that they were unlucky to be losing so heavily. You know, Christian Romero should have scored at least a couple, and Van de Ven had a goal ruled out that was harsh. But you have to switch on in those circumstances. And the way that Tottenham approach games, they are woeful. They really are. And Postecoglou's team has now conceded 7 goals in the last 2 games, 13 in their last 6. And as a result of that approach from big ends, you know, they're going to always attack. They got this philosophy where they really want to see the game out and they want an expansive football, man. Because of that, Tottenham are now not going to make it into Europe. There would be nothing wrong with Tottenham setting up today to stifle Arsenal, to keep them at bay. A few days ago, he has watched them destroy Chelsea in a London derby, and he's learnt nothing from it. We really do need to have a serious conversation about Postecoglou, and I think I'm going to do a video on it, actually. Champions League football is now slipping through their fingers. Aston Villa have had a terrible result against Chelsea, and Tottenham haven't. You know, it's been a good result for Villa. They've moved 1 point clear of Tottenham. But the day belongs to Arsenal, and the day actually belongs to Kai Havertz. Like the way that Kai Havertz played, the brilliant interchange that he set up, he was a thorn in their side. And, I mean, he made it so difficult. You know, Arsenal are ruthless at set pieces, and the way that they approach set pieces is impressive, but they forced it. You know, Tottenham can't defend them. Højbjerg scoring an own goal. But the day belongs to Havertz, the day belongs to Arsenal, the day belongs to Arteta, and they will now be desperate to see Manchester City potentially drop points against Nottingham Forest. Ultimately, though, remember, all Arsenal needed to do was win, and win they did. It's an excellent result for them, and the performance is neither here nor there. Fair play to Arsenal, a statement victory. They did really, really well. They just might be running out of game time, who knows. Thank you for watching as well, I really do appreciate that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please do click subscribe. We're inching ever closer to 300,000 subscribers, so it would be an honour to welcome you into this community. Thank you so much for watching.